Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Levy Brown. I'm the Dean of Arts and Sciences here at Lenoir Community College, and we would like to welcome you on behalf of our President, Dr. Rusty Hunt, and our Board of Trustee members to Lenoir Community College for this viewing and panel discussion of the Black Light Project. Really quickly, I had a chance about 2 months ago or so to view this project. It was done by a very creative individual who you'll get a chance to meet later, who has really put together some wonderful imagery, a great documentary, and really will cause us to think a little bit more about what we're doing educationally within our community, looking at the narrative as it relates to African American men in our society. And so this will prove to be, I believe, a very informative session for all of our students, for all of our community members, for everyone that is here today. As we get ready to start, I would like for us to have a chance really quickly for the panelists to tell us a little bit about themselves, their name, what organization they're with. This is really a dream team of individuals who are doing a lot of great things within our community, and we want to give them time to share just a little bit about themselves, and who will start first.
How y'all doing? I'm Omar Barnes. I'm one of the cast members of the Black Light Project, former gang member, local mentor in Greenville. Pretty much just a young kid out here trying to make change out here.
Good morning, Nick Harvey, Assistant Superintendent in Lenoir County Public Schools for Operations and Student Services. Resident of Kinston, born and raised right here, and it's a pleasure to serve the students of Lenoir County.
Good morning, Alonzo James, Chief of Police here in the beautiful city of Kinston. I've been here 7 months. Spent 19 years in the Durham Police Department. Left there as captain, and I was an assistant chief with the Chapel Hill Police Department. My pleasure to be here.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Julius Millett. I am trying to think. I've delivered babies for about the last 35 years. I've also practiced in several communities, in some places around the world. But what I am really enthusiastic about today is that there is a movement to make certain that there will be a movement 20, 30, 40 years from now, that people will be working with each other to try to make a better world. I'm currently at the Agape Center in Washington, and I'm a DEA waiver physician, and I prescribe medicines to get folks off of narcotics. And that's a really fascinating, challenging, but rewarding thing to do.
Julian Pridgeon, pastor of St. Augustus African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church here in the city of Kinston.
Hi, I'm Chris Suggs. I'm a senior at Kinston High School as well as a student here at LCC. I'm the founder and CEO of Kinston Teams and the founder and chairman of Black Youth Network, two non-profit organizations focused on empowering young leaders in our community, and Black Youth Network is focused on empowering young African American leaders across the country.
Hi, I am Tanya Jefferson Lynch, and Dad, I want to say thank you to you guys for being here today. I am truly humbled and honored to be in your presence. I am the creator of the Black Light Project, and I use it very lightly. This was, of course, a brainchild of mine, and I'll give a little background on that in a moment. But the subjects that are featured, the photographers, the filmographer who's not here today, but he gave me a headache this morning about putting some stuff together, so he's here in spirit for sure. But they are the people who made this project work. Okay? It is the community that has made this project work. So you may ask, why the Black Light Project? Well, we are very aware of the current climate that we have, and we know that the media plays a tremendous part in how we perceive everything. But specifically for this project, we wanted to talk about how Black males are perceived and how that impacts the way that we interact with each other and the way that they interact with us. And it impacts us on every level, educationally, through our criminal justice, it impacts us through medicine. That's why I'm so excited to have a physician, excuse me, because I just had a conversation recently in which we were discussing what I call it, this may not be a real thing, but the white coat syndrome, and some of the issues that happen when we're in needing medical care that happens with black males and how they're viewed. And obviously we know about the criminal justice system, and again, the education system, the suspension rates and things like that. So I am a wife, and I'm a mother. I have 5 sons, okay? And they range in age from 3 years old up to 16 years old, okay? I have 2 in high school, 1 in middle school, 1 in elementary school, and the youngest one is autistic. And that's not even to mention the 3 daughters, okay? So yes, you added that up, wait, that's 8 kids, yes, I have it. And like I said, I'm a wife too, and I'm married to a black male. I am the daughter of a black male. I have a brother, and they are all impacted by the images that we see. So the reason that, of course, we're talking about media, and I'm sure in some way, some form, we have our hands on media, be it social media, which is huge. That's like everything right now. Everyone gets they think they're scholars in social media, which is not the best thing. This is where you become a scholar, not on social media. Memes, not so much. But if it's marketing the fact that we are going to be a barber, okay, you are using media to have a certain image. And we want to investigate how we've gotten where we are with black males. And we want to challenge the perceptions that we have. What I know, what you know, everyone has a black male in their life somewhere along the way. And what we know is that so often what we see in the media, we are presented with exceptions. We're presented with the really, really bad or the really, really good. And so at night when you lay your head down, you know you're not a gang banger, or you know that you didn't rob anybody, or you know you take care of your kids, and you see you don't fit into that crowd. And then you're not LeBron James either. That's my phone telling me to be quiet. You know you're not LeBron James either, or Stephen Curry, or President Obama, which you certainly could be, okay? The potential to be whatever you want certainly is there. So you find yourself wondering, for black males, they wonder, where do I fit in? So this is the story we want to tell, is that your everyday existence, your everyday getting up in the morning, putting on your clothes, coming here to be educated, going to the barber shop and cutting someone's hair, or sitting in the barber shop with your son while he gets a haircut, you putting the cart back, that exudes who you really are. And the world needs to see that the goodness and the beauty of black males is not an exception. It is in fact the rule. We are substantial. Well, they are substantial. They are beautiful and they are wonderful. And they deserve the right to have humanity that's afforded to so many others. So without further ado, hi, my name is Tanya Jefferson Lynch, and I am the leader of the Black Life Project. I want to start off by telling you thank you for being a part of this. You know, we call it a documentary, and I use it very loosely because this is unlike anything you've ever seen. This is not just about setting up and explaining something that's happening, and we'll do that. This is not a reality show where we just follow people and talk to them about their lives. We do that. But this is a culmination of information and hopefully realization that we have a problem, but we have a beautiful solution. And that solution is found in the stories that we tell in this documentary, and it is found in you. It is more than a documentary because it is a movement. We're going to move away from the stories that we hear that are so negative, that criminalize our black men, that say that what they're not, that says what they can't do. We're going to move towards who we know that they are. That the good and black men is the rule and and not the exception. I am a wife. I'm a mother of 5 sons. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a cousin. I'm a friend. And every single day of my life, I am impacted by the power, the love, the genius, the kindness, the everything that makes Black men so incredibly special and unique. So won't you join me as you watch this film and you walk away from it? Be moved, be changed. Let's come together to challenge these narratives, and we're going to shift the focus to who they are, not only to us, but who they are to the world. Thank you.
There are parts of me that I see jokes sometimes, the way that people receive things. I think being 29 years old, I grew up in Maryland. I grew up around pretty much high school. In the 90s, my parents worked, they had great jobs, they just wanted to keep us in a nice area. This back when I was one of maybe 18 Black children in my school, in elementary school. And I think there's always this sense of, it can never happen to me. It can never be me, it can never be someone that I know is going to be that close to home. But after seeing so much of what has gone on in the past few years, there were moments where I used to really, I kept myself out of certain areas, I kept myself away from certain people, and just kept my hands clean with just about everything that I would be okay. But when you watch the news now, and you see things happening to other people that are same age you, or they do the same thing as you do, and there's no reason at all why they're no longer here, but they're still gone, and they're still criminalized for whatever reason. It gives you that sense of fear where, it doesn't really matter who you are anymore. I mean, I'm a makeup artist, I make dresses, and I work with women, but it's nothing that separates me from those people that are considered criminals. We don't have a lot of taken from them for absolutely nothing. That's terrible. It's a huge fear. It's a recurring fear.
So, although we still reach for our high, we still do what we do in our synagogues and our communities, it always goes back to the core of the spirit. And if fear is the DNA of our spirit, the reason why they fear intelligence is not because they hate them out of it's because nobody who hasn't been taught to understand and learn is going to like when a smart person comes in the room. If you've been allowed to live a life based on fear and blocking people out because you're scared, then that doesn't force you to have to learn and live and grow. The way you survive is by keeping your boundaries protected. So if you ever get in and you're smart, I'm only afraid because I'm ignorant. So that puts you in a very unique situation because a person that is scared of you will kill you.
They see the marching and stuff, they relate to the police brutality and all that. And that's, it's kind of scary. Raise a child at a time because you don't really, that's telling them what the thin line. And even the things we're told to do, even if we're doing it, we're still ending up in tough situations.
If we would fast the ideology of those that are slave owners, that they pushed on to those people that were enslaved. It's funny because a lot of people don't realize that because there was a law enacted that slavery would not be legal any longer, that does not mean the ideology of slavery ended with the enactment of that law. And as we do the great earnings and finances from generation to generation, ideologies, behaviors, those things are passed down from generation to generation. So for any of us to believe that racism in its rarest form has not been something that's passed down, we're fooling ourselves. But what I love about exuding the life means that, as my grandmother shared with me, as my grandfather taught me, my mom and dad, it was all about how you acted and how you thought of yourself and not what others thought of you. So it was always put out in the forefront. There's a label out there for you. You get to decide
whether you wear that label like garments, or whether you take them and burn them up and you use that for fuel to be who you see yourself as being. So then people have the choice but to give you the honor for who you are, instead of giving you the label that's been passed down from generation to generation.
Changing what has been the norm for us. And the norm has been this negative, obscure, unjust way of living our lives. In a picture, in a picture for us and everything. So the world sees it as one thing. We have to take this story to shift this up to different how we become responsible and kind of just reevaluating our place in society and allowing ourselves to go back. So we're saying, I come here every day. I work as a visiting coordinator for elementary school. And every day as we migrate to show them a positive, who's educated, who's particular, and who dresses them, who smells them. I mean, believe it or not, they're all black. But it also just shows not just them as young black men, but it shows my color and here that we're not all what you see and see. We're not all, out, having 25 kids, 25 different women. Those are the things that sometimes people are always afraid of about black men. But there's some of us out there who are working hard every day, who are trying to build communities, building families. I think those are the important things that we're responsible for. To make sure these stories get told. The African proverb says that the lion writes his own story. The hunter will always be the story. So we need to make sure we're writing our own story. We're good at that platform and tell the story in a positive way.
And they shall have no fear, reaching for their birthright. Hands in the air, hearts of bronze, faces in place, moonlights. They have found solace in the silent recognition that they are able, even if only they know it. Princes of promise, reaching towards their source, hands in the air, hearts of bronze, faces in place, flashes, bright, turn to the left, now to the right. Little brother, big brother, oh, he is stronger than he may conceive. When he begins to believe, he will let the flash be his own. He will illuminate, expose, grow, birth, brazenly break every bind ever known that attempted to harness his light.
SGA president. I am a PCC trustee board member. I'm ex officio SGA representative. I am on the student activity committee, fund request committee, shortened for SAC. What else am I on? I am a Bruises Crew mentor as well, and I'm in everything on campus. A judicial review board member as well. So academic infractions and stuff like that. When they get appealed, I'm on board for that as well to help in the decision-making process and some of those. I'm everywhere on campus. These roles are important to me because I have seen in the 19 going on 20 years that I've been alive so many opportunities that many of my friends have just passed completely because they felt like they weren't good enough. Because they've had somebody in their ear their whole entire life telling them, you can't be as a president of life. They don't want you. You're too little, you're too loose, you're too whatever. And I'm a part of these things to show that that's not always it. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I understand that in certain aspects of your life, certain situations you got to talk to them. When I'm around my friends, I talk completely different from how I do when I'm around maybe Dr. Matthew. Because I know where I'm at. And a lot of my friends know this too. They know how to conduct themselves, but they feel as though since so many people have told them you can't, that's been instilled in their mind. I took on these roles to show that we can break those barriers. It's not just, I needed the scholarship money. I did need scholarship money for a lot of stuff that I did, but it was more than that. It was, let me do something so I can inspire the next person that has to do the same thing. Because I know they have it in them. They're coachable, they're teachable. They want to do this. They have to see somebody else.
I'm not fearful because I know I can make a difference. That's right. You understand what I'm saying? So, if, like you said, you kill yourself in a certain area, you can talk to someone. You can view me how you want to, but I know who I am. Now, I have a concern for my other brothers who, just because the way they dress, he might be a thug, but when you sit right here and talk to him, he's not. So what can I do? That's why I run to the school system. At my school, there's only two brothers like me there. Two African American teachers.
I don't know, I always looked at my boys that I used to hang with, and they were smart, but they did dumb things. They didn't have a teacher in their life to say, hey, stop, don't do this. If they did, they didn't listen. So growing up and looking at that, I was like, man, I got to do something that needs to help. I always felt like I needed to help somehow. I didn't think I would be a teacher, to be honest with you. I didn't start going to school to be a teacher. I went to school to be a computer engineer. And then somehow, you have to look at it like, you know what, I'm in this for the outcome of the kids, the outcome of us as people versus the income. So, I mean, I'm there because I know there's going to be a one young black boy, even a young Caucasian male that already may have a school view of us as African Americans. Because in my eyes, when I'm an educator, I don't look at the color, so to speak. I know it's kind of hard for me to say, but I try to really treat everybody with being equal. Now, I have a couple of boys that, whereas another teacher, that they go ahead and write it up. But like you said with the statistics, nah, I can't do that. Let me talk to you. Look, I see you in me. When I was young, I was bad. I was always in trouble, and I was always cursing, fighting, and all that. They're trying to set you up. This is what you need to do. Listen to me. No, listen to me. I can't help you. I'm all you got right now until you get to next grade. I'm still going to tell you home, but this is what you need to do. So that's another reason why I went into education. If I can say at least one or two lies based on how I talk to them, how I love them, how hard I am on them.
Panel, I would like to thank you all for taking the time out to be here today. We have approximately 25 minutes to engage in some dialogue in reference to the documentary and issues relating to black males. Mr. McMillian is going to keep us on track. He's already signaling to me now to get started, so let's get going. The first question, this is going to be directed to Mr. Suggs. How can we engage black males in more positive activities within our local community?
Alright. I would say that it starts with providing those opportunities and making them accessible to the young black males. So, for all of my life I've heard, people, I've sat in meetings and people talk about the at-risk young men, the at-risk kids in our community. And they look at me and say, I'm a positive example of what we can be and what we can all be. That's true and all, but contrary to popular belief, I'm just as much as an at-risk kid as anybody else in Kingston. I grew up on Chestnut Street in Kingston, down the hill. Walk off the porch, you see Southeast School right down the hill. I'm a product of a single mother in Kingston. We're borderline poor. She was a former teacher, so teachers don't make just that much here in North Carolina. So I'm an at-risk kid, by all means. However, I've had the opportunities to take extra classes and be a great student and have a support system, inclusive of many of the men on this panel who are great role models for myself. And I've had opportunities to travel and be a part of summer programs and mentoring programs. So when you make those opportunities available to young men of color, then they have the opportunity to be the great leaders and the great students and the great young people we want to see in our community. So just the opportunities, that's what our young men need, I believe.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is accessibility is very important.
Absolutely.
According to statistics, 47% of black males graduated from high school nationwide. Black students are 3 times more likely to be expelled from school. This question is for Mr. Harvey. How important is education to the success of black males?
Thank you for your question. I was talking to some of the panel members earlier, and I said to the brother to my right, and I've said it to many of my former students, the only way to change your status is through education. It's the only way. The odds of you hitting the lottery, playing professional sports are slim, although possible. So the only way to change your status is through education. And I've said to my students many times, if you're tired of being in your mother's house, go to school, work hard, and go to college. Go into the service, go into the workforce. But education is the only way. You mentioned the prison pipeline issue in our country. We're working real hard right now with our judges, with our police chief, with our sheriff, across the state of North Carolina to address that issue with no more zero tolerance policies, with opportunities for students who make mistakes, and we all have made those mistakes, but to have the opportunity to attend team court and other opportunities to reverse some of those long-term suspensions that result in higher dropout and lower graduation rates. So that's how we're addressing it here in Lenoir County. But we have to encourage, excite, promote education. Everybody in this room is here because you know it's cool to be smart, but we have to promote that, encourage that, engage our classmates, engage our peers to let them know that it is cool to be smart, and we have to celebrate academic success as much as we celebrate athletic success. And I think we're doing a great job here, but we have to continue that in a lot of places.
All right, next slide. Mr. Bonds, if you can kind of piggyback off of that a little bit, what's the talk among your peers when it comes to education and the importance of education?
Well, okay, with me and my people, it's basically like this. My thing is systematic lead programming. And when I say systematic lead programming, basically like everything that they taught you, everything that they tell you you can't be, everything that they ever said or ever put against you, somebody gotta tell you like, nah, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Stop believing in it. Don't believe the statistics. Like, don't ignore all of that. Like, make them see you. Put it in their face. If you smart, you black, you proud, put it in their face. And that's what I tell all my little homies, that's what I tell anybody. You know what I'm saying? The only reason they closing the door to you is because you ain't knocking. And when they close it, kick it down. Don't knock, kick it down. You know the way you kick it down? Open the book up. Because they're going to tell you it's right here. And excuse my language, but they say if you want a high shot from a nigga, put it in a book. I hate to be harsh and say it that way, but that's what it is. So that's my thing, you know what I'm saying? I tell everybody, don't believe nothing nobody tell you. Go research it. I don't care if somebody come in wet and say it's raining outside, go look outside. Know for yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you don't look at it for yourself, they can tell you whatever. You know what I'm saying? They can paint the picture however, but if you go and you say, okay, whatever they told me, nah, I don't believe it. Let me go find out for myself. Let me see what's going on. Then once you know what's going on, you go from there. Because you know what I'm saying? All of us really, as young black men, they want us to be misled, bro. If you look at any news, they not doing nothing positive. Somebody kill you, what they gonna do? He got a record, or he did this, or he did that, or he did, don't matter.
So what I hear you saying is education can definitely lead to a bunch of, negative things, so don't listen to the negative hype that's out there, all right? This is a 2-part question, right? And it's going to be directed to Dr. Millett and Reverend Pritchard. Can you give us a personal example of how you overcame adversity in life? And what lessons have you learned as an African American male that have altered the way you view society? Hey, you can start. Okay. What lessons have you learned as an African American male that have altered the way you view society?
All right, thank you. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. All right, well, thank you so much. Again, I am honored to be a part of this panel. I think this is quite an assembly of black men who have made a big impact on our community. And so to me, it's quite an honor to be here with all of you. I'm also quite thankful to have the opportunity to meet with the director, producer, creator of this video. It is really, I can see where it's taken us, and hopefully it will continue to do that. Now, on a personal end, for me, the biggest challenge that I recognized was that I basically had to stay focused on what my dream was. When I was 9 years old, I decided I was going to be a doctor. I decided that I was going to be a surgeon. And in fact, I was operating when I was 9 years old. Now my brother tells me, who was a counselor, that, well, they probably would put you in jail. I said, well, they could have, but I was a fast surgeon. And I still am now. I was, I grew up in a small community at that time. It's called Wilmington. Now Wilmington is a pretty big city, but Wilmington also had a lot of rural areas, and so I always had an interest in small animals, and I have to say, and I confess it, I operated on frogs when I was 9 years old. The good thing is that most of them survived. Now, that was my inspiration. I knew that I was going to be something one day related to medicine. I didn't know exactly how to do it, but what I needed to overcome were those that were naysayers. And that was not an easy thing to do. I can understand what the young brother is saying about folks saying you can't do something. Well, I had a lot of people tell me that you can't be a doctor. And I said, oh, okay. Now, during my era, what I learned to do was just kind of clear you out of my thoughts. Because if you were telling me something that I couldn't do, that I know I was given a precious gift to do, then you were on whose side? Not the one who gave me the gift. So in my mind, it was immediate that I needed to do that. I don't want to take up all the time because I know it's really important that we get to hear all of us. But the impact that I hope, one day I'm actually writing my book, but I hope that it will be appreciated, is that I try to be a bridge. Yes, I operate, yes, I deliver lots of babies, yes, I did a lot of surgery. But one of the things that I'm very proud of is that I was the dean of education at the med school. And during that time period, I tried to be a bridge. There were some of us that were struggling. There were some of us that were not. There were some of us that didn't really know what they wanted to do. And in my training and in my service, I crossed the river and I told them you can make it. So that's what I'd like to say.
Thanks a lot for that, Dr. Millett. Let's take the time.
Overcoming diversity, that part. I was also born poor. I still consider myself poor, but raised in the country, 4-room house, no running water in the house. But as my young brother on the end spoke with such great wisdom, I think he spoke for, I would like to say all of us, but he certainly spoke for me too. Because of the naysayers, because of the adversarial voices that made me press even harder. I joined the Marine Corps at 17 years old. I was promoted 5 times in 2.5 years. I retired from the Marine Corps, entered in the Christian ministry while I was in the Marine Corps, but got 2 college degrees while in service, and after I finished my time in the Marine Corps, I was invited to study theology at Duke University. So, and that for me was, again, through education, pushing back against those adversarial voices. I would like to think that my life as a Christian ministry, the way I understand a kind of radical theology, a theology that teaches me to love everybody, regardless of what they look like, regardless of their religious preferences. I love you because I think that we are all a part of God's family, that we've all been created in the image of God, And that when I look at you, I look at a little part of God. And when you see me, I hope that you see a part of God.
Thanks a lot, Reverend Bridget. What I'm hearing so far is accessibility, staying focused, and the importance of education that's going to really help propel the African American male. A couple more questions we're going to try to get to. Blacks are overrepresented in North Carolina prisons and jails, making up over 55% of the total incarcerated population. This question is for Mr. James. What is the significance, going back to the prison pipeline, for black males in this area and across the country? You can just kind of talk about that a little more and possibly some things that we can do from an officer perspective.
Good morning. Well, I made it clear from the first time I came to Kinston that we were going to take great strides in reaching out to our young people at an early age, because truth be told, prevention is the key. And so we have to reach out to our young people and teach them about conflict resolution, problem solving, team building, things that will make them make better choices. That's one. But on the police side too, we have to be open, and we have to realize that we cannot arrest our problems away. So oftentimes, and I learned this, it took me 22 years. I can tell you as a rookie, you want to clean the world, you want to make the world better, and your thought is arrest, arrest, arrest. And when you hear people talk about alternatives, you really shun that philosophy. But as you get older and you see these same people get out of jail and repeat, you realize you're not really making change, you're not being effective. And one of the saddest things I saw when I was a rookie, my training officer, I arrested this individual for domestic violence, and my training officer shook his head, and I said, what's going on? He said, I used to arrest his dad for the same thing. So it's a cycle that we have to break. And so I say all that to say early intervention. One of the things when I was a juvenile detective, when we reached out to young people when they committed crimes under the age of 16, we immediately looked at counseling services. We immediately looked at programs and things to help them make those decisions. So here in Kinston, that's something that we have discussed. We've talked to judges, the school administration, and we're definitely going to make strides on that level.
Thanks a lot, Officer James. To close, if each of you can give one little small nugget, maybe just a couple of you for the sake of time, based on the review of the documentary, what type of dialogue is needed to change the narrative when it comes to African American males? What's something you can give that we can do?
Real quick, I'll say this. Do y'all remember when you realized that Santa Claus wasn't real? Do y'all remember? So when I was in internal affairs and I started looking at cases, before I was always defending. There's no way the officer said or did this. And when I went to internal affairs and I'm reading these personnel files and these incidents, I'm realizing, yeah, it is. But I know these individuals, and they're not racist. They're not. They don't have any animosity towards anyone. And I say all that to say that it starts with really connecting and finding those positive opportunities to connect with one another and relate. And this documentary is powerful on so many levels. And we could go on for days talking about what we can do. I'll say real quick, the power of the media. You all have no idea how influential that is. And so we have to write our own narrative. We have to tell our story. And one of the things in Kinston, what we're really trying to do, if you go on our Facebook page, is really working on the image of the police department and saying that with our young, especially African American males, we really need to sit at the table. We need to connect with them. Our officers need to spend more time
There's training out there, implicit bias training that we are bringing to Kinston for our police officers. And what it says is that you control your prejudices by having those opportunities to connect and communicate, because this is the norm right here. This isn't the exception. So the more we spend talking and conversing with young African American males, we realize that they're just like everyone else. They have aspirations. They're fathers. I'm a father of 2 young men, and they want to make a difference in the world. So that's what we'll do.
Okay. For the sake of time, let me hear from you, Chris, as a young male. If you can kind of close us out. Again, what can you do? What are you doing at Kinston High School? What are what's the dialogue, amongst your friends?
I would say that what we need most is conversations like this event, this film, that show that there's so much more than just what's at the surface level of us young black males. We need to learn their stories, we need to hear their stories, and have them platformed all over the news and TV. Representation is extremely important. For us to see people that look like us in our movies, in the books we read, and in what we see positively on the news. So I think it's really important for us to learn our stories and share our stories with each other for successful or even for any black male adult to be in our schools with our young people. For example, my aunt, who's Miss Felicia Solomon, the principal of Northeast Elementary, this upcoming Monday, they're hosting Male Motivational Monday, 9 a.m., where men from all walks of life in the community are invited to come and walk the hallways of the school and get to know the young men at Northeast Elementary. So things like that are extremely important, where we get to connect with mentors and role models and inspirations and see what we can truly be, and to learn the stories of success and challenges and failures and the highs and the lows of our African American men and our African American culture.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Chris. Very.
Real brief, know your history. That's all I have. On that note, I would like to thank Ms. Lynch for being the creator and the visionary behind the documentary. I'd like to say thanks, Mr. Vines, for coming today, Mr. Harvey, for being a panelist, as well as Mr. James, Dr. Millette, Reverend Pridgeon, and Mr. Suggs. Thanks a lot for taking the time, the time out of your business schedule. Hopefully everyone received a ticket when you walk through the door. So we have a little giveaway thanks to the bookstore on our campus bookstore. So get your ticket out, okay? I don't think you'll mind if I have Reverend Pridgeon do the drawing, right? I don't think we have any qualms about that. All right, next slide. Right. I'll read the whole number because I don't know exactly how they are. 645 291. 6. So come on down and get your. There you go. So it's a $25 gift card to Barnes & Nobles. You can use it at the bookstore or any other Barnes & Nobles. Okay?
Again, thank you for being here, campus community, and thanks to all of our great panelists as well. I really would like to share that this was a team effort. So I would like the planning committee to please stand. Mr. Moore, Mr. McMillian, Mr. Nathan Goldie, Mr. Timothy Maddox, I think it's his class, Mr. Neil Wilson, and Mr. Hines Sutton. All of these folks, along with our marketing team and many others, IT helped to promote this great event. and we thank you for being here. You are dismissed. Have a great day.